Welcome to Group 1's Hazardous Field Trip. Today we're going to go over the phenomena that happens in the hydrosphere, lithosphere, and atmosphere. We are going to travel to 3 areas around the world to observe these phenomena to see why they occur and what we can do to prepare ourselves from these types of natural disasters. We start our trip on the campus of Pasadena City College, and from there, we will travel to Moore, Oklahoma to take a look at tornadoes. The city of Moore, Oklahoma is home to some of the largest tornadoes that have hit this country. Moore is an urban city with a population of 91,000 residents and reaches out over an area of 34 square miles. Here, looking at the local level pattern of tornado activity, we can see that local tornadoes generally travel in either direction on a line from southwest to northeast. One of the most devastating storms being a Category 5 tornado that occurred in May of 2013 with winds reaching above 200 miles per hour that meteorologists say materialized out of nothing. This means that the tornado did not gradually grow, but instead began very powerfully before eventually dying out. The tornado claimed the lives of 24 people while also demolishing hundreds of homes. Tornadoes are usually created by superstorms, which are a result of warm, humid air clashing with cold, dry air. A mesocyclone is formed from the turbulent winds surrounding the updraft of warm air, and if the turbulent winds become stronger, the mesocyclone can descend and create a tornado. One way to stay safe during a tornado is to seek shelter in a nearby basement or a cellar, and be sure to store at least 3 gallons of water. Now we will travel to the city of Chicago, Illinois. Chicago is home to 2.7 million people in an area of 234 square miles. It rests on the edge of Lake Michigan, which makes the city vulnerable to flooding during storms when the sea level rises. Flooding in the Chicago area is an ever-increasing problem that is worsened by rising sea levels and an outdated infrastructure. From the pattern on this map, we can see that the more densely populated areas of Chicago and areas nearby are more susceptible to flooding than others. Waste from homes flow into the same place as storm drains, which makes draining water from the city difficult in a heavy storm. The Chicago River rises during storms, creating flood issues, destroying homes, and even leaving behind toxic molds which can cause fatal illnesses. Updating drainage systems and plumbing systems, proper waste management, and citywide efforts to heighten barriers for the river are solutions that would greatly benefit the people of Chicago. Now we will leave Chicago and head over to the city of Kawasaki, Japan. Kawasaki has a population of 1.5 million and is about 55 square miles. Here, we can see that Kawasaki and surrounding areas experience earthquakes on or near the different fault lines that surround Japan. These fault lines are on the borders of the Eurasian, Pacific, Philippine, and North American tectonic plates, which are constantly grinding against each other and building up enormous seismic pressure. And when the plates slip, that pressure is released, creating large earthquakes. These earthquakes are not only a destructive force, but also create large tsunamis. Due to Japan being so densely populated, the casualties can be very high for these types of natural disasters. During an earthquake, you should be sure to cover yourself and wait for the shaking to stop. After an earthquake, finding higher ground is a great way to stay safe from tsunamis that can form after a large earthquake. Now we travel back to the beautiful PCC campus to conclude our field trip. I hope that you learned something useful about these natural disasters and are able to stay safe if you ever find yourself in one of these situations.